On this channel in the past, I've already talked about how the Russian justice system is an absolute joke. And in today's video, we're gonna look at a very obvious example of it. I would like you guys to take a look at these two people that you're seeing on screen right now. Both of them are Twitch streamers that actually got in trouble with the government for the things that they did on their stream. And both of them have been sentenced to 6 years of prison in Russia. And if you guys followed my channel long enough, you probably already know what the trick is here. The difference between these two streamers is that this guy right here is an actual little murderer who quite literally killed somebody during a live stream because his donations were asking for it. And what this girl did is that she has had some opinions that differ from those of the Russian government. Hey there guys, it is your boy Roman, your favorite neighborhood Russian, and in today's video, we are going to be taking a look at how Russia cracks down on free speech online, and also want to just show you guys why I specifically avoid returning back to Russia. So this story right here went pretty viral recently on the internet, on Twitter, etc., where a Russian Twitch streamer was sentenced to more than 5 years in prison for criticizing the invasion of Ukraine. Now, I don't know why this story in particular was so interesting for Westerners. There's already been countless and countless online personalities, influencers, since 2022 when the full-on war started. I don't know, maybe the story went viral because it's a Twitch streamer and a girl. But essentially, yes, what happened recently is that a Russian streamer, Anna Bajutova, also known by her streamer name Yokobovich, has been sentenced to 5.5 years in prison in Russia for Russia's favorite felony right now, the discreditation of armed forces of Russia. Now, supposedly at a certain point in 2022 or 23, Anna actually left Russia, but then in late 2023 ended up coming back for whatever reason, and essentially she was immediately arrested, was detained, and immediately was charged with this felony of discrediting the Russian army. Now, here's where we run into a bit of a hard part, because once again, guys, I would like to stay out of prison myself, so
I prefer really not to speak. If I speak, I am in big trouble. In big trouble, and I don't want to be in big trouble.
I'm gonna have to walk around it for a little bit, but Anna essentially got sentenced for speaking out about the events that transpired in Bucha on her live stream. Yes, and that's the only way I'll be describing these events that, you know, may have or may have not transpired. And the only reason why I'm saying all of this is because, once again, right now, essentially in Russia, if you question the line of the party, the line of the government, the line of the propaganda about the official story of what has been happening during these special military operation, right? If you speak out about your opposition to the war, etc., these are all things that could get you in danger. However, the most dangerous thing that a Russian citizen can do is talk about these, once again, events in Bucha that I've never heard of. I don't know what they're talking about. What happened with Anna apparently is that during her live stream, she spoke out her thoughts on this issue, and she criticized the Russian soldiers and Russian army, rights, and Russia being the freest country in the world with no wokeness and cancel culture. What Russia did is that it sentenced Anna to 5.5 years in prison. So, and yes, she's currently 30 years old, so that means she'll be out by 36. So yes, absolutely fucking ridiculous, but at this point, nothing new for me as a person who looks at what's going on in Russia. I've recently made a video not that long ago talking about how even outside of Russia, it can be not safe for Russians to speak out. I talked about this case of a Russian citizen in Canada who also talked about the exact same events publicly and was also charged with the exact same crime, and she was actually having trouble obtaining Canadian citizenship because of this felony she had in Russia. So yes, it's absolutely insane, it is absolutely soul-crushing, it is super fucked up. However, at this point, you guys are not surprised by the terrible sentences Russia gives out to people. The real stinger is this part right here, because I'd like to compare this situation to another one that happened in Russia not that long ago, with the infamous streamer Stas, also known as Reeflay. Now, if you follow my channel for a while, you also might be familiar with this, but basically, a few years ago I made a video about the so-called Russian trash streamers, which is a sort of a live stream culture in Russia where people basically stream their degeneracy, they get drunk, they do drugs, they do all sort of embarrassing challenges for money, just, you know, pushing the envelope as far as anybody can go. One large streamer from Russia that's been going viral recently from this kind of community is Melstroy. You may have heard of this guy, but basically, I'm talking about this story right here, which happened in December of 2020, where essentially this genius right here, Stas Reeflay, was live streaming with his pregnant girlfriend at the time, or ex-girlfriend supposedly, right? And these two have already had a rough history. There's been footage of him beating her on streams and stuff like that. But long story short, what happened is that during one of the live streams, this Russian man, Stas, was very drunk or whatever, and supposedly this girlfriend of his was also drunk and he couldn't wake her up or something like that. So what he decided to do, or if I'm not mistaken, it might have been one of his donators that actually suggested the idea. Basically what this man did is that he locked his pregnant girlfriend outside on a balcony during winter in Russia. So as you guys might imagine, it gets pretty cold. And yes, the story does not have a good ending. Once again, the girl ended up dying to hypothermia, essentially, right? And during the stream itself, you can also see him dragging her lifeless body out and like trying to wake her up, and also him calling the ambulance, and when the ambulance comes in, he's like crying, and it's fucking ridiculous. I mean, this guy's absolute scum, just the bottom of the fucking barrel. But basically, this story got obviously pretty big in Russia, and this guy actually got sentenced to 6 years in Russia for manslaughter, so seems fair maybe, right? Well, again guys, let's think about the fact that we just talked about a story where a young Russian woman was sentenced to 6 years in prison for essentially an opinion, essentially for a statement or a couple of words, right? But also at the same time, guys, we have a situation here where another streamer, person in the same, you know, profession, from the same walk of life, he also did a terrible thing on his live stream, right? Well, except the thing that he did was actually fucking terrible and abysmal, which was literally murdering somebody who was pregnant with a child. 6 years in prison, right? Meanwhile, once again, a certain statement or an opinion about an issue that does not coincide with the official version of the Russian propaganda and, you know, the official Russian governmental version, also 6 years in prison. Yes, I can totally see how the justice system in this country and the sentences and just overall how laws work in this country, I find it fascinating that certain governmental officials, or for example propaganda heads, can literally go on live television and literally say the most genocidal things about Russian people. Not even talking about Ukrainians or whatever. These people are going out there and saying that, you know, all Russians who don't like Putin essentially need to be killed and sent to the camps or whatever. That was like an actual thing one of Russian officials said on TV. Nothing. That's not hate speech. That's like not in any way dangerous to society. Not at all. However, if you have something to say once again about this event in history, and if your version does not coincide with the Russian government, once again, 6 fucking years in prison. That makes a lot of sense to me, guys. Yes, great fucking country. And also by far, by the way guys, my favorite part about all of this is that this dude right here, the one that killed his girlfriend on stream, he's already not even in jail anymore. He's not even in prison. He's actually now out. Here I am on this news article. Essentially, he's been let out from the penal colony where he was at on the basis of his good behavior, and that he has he feels remorse for what happens, and that he basically did great work in the colony. And essentially, this happened in February of 2024, by the way. So he's been out since February of 2024. And now essentially what he has to do is that he has to spend 2 years and 10 months basically doing community service. So yes, once again, guys. The guy killed his fucking girlfriend on stream, and he's also a person that has shown like signs of being a violent person in the past, right? Like, this guy's pretty fucked up. He basically only ended up spending 3 years in prison, and now for the rest of his 3 years he's gonna be out doing community service. Is that going to be an option for Anna, the person who got jailed for wars? I don't know. For some reason I really don't think so. And it feels like the only way Anna would be released from prison before her time is if, you know, there's significant changes in Russia. So yes guys, what can I say? I fucking love being a citizen of this country. I fucking love it. I definitely enjoy a country where murder and words hold the same weight and can get you in prison for the same amount of time. Or actually, should I even say, your words could send you to a prison for a bigger amount of time than if you actually killed somebody. That's like unironically fucking what it's like. And here's the thing guys, this is one of the reasons why I essentially don't want to come back or live in Russia right now under this regime, because I don't want to play gamble with my life and freedom. Especially in the current times where you can basically get jailed by anybody at any second for pretty much anything. I mean, if you guys want to understand how ridiculous it is, there's already countless stories coming out of Russia right now where people have been getting busted and fined or even potentially jailed for private conversations that have been overheard by somebody else and have been reported to the police. So in 2023 there was a case like this in the city of Krasnodar where a couple was fined for expressing some anti-war opinions in a public cafe and somebody overheard it or whatever and called the cops. We also have a case currently going on in Russia where a 68-year-old doctor, a pediatrician from Russia named Nadezhda Buyanova, is currently essentially being charged with the exact same crime of discrediting the armed forces of Russia for, once again, a private conversation that nobody even knows really happens. Basically, the story goes as follows. Supposedly, this lady, Nadezhda, had somebody over for a checkup, and supposedly the lady told her that her husband has been killed in Ukraine as a soldier. And allegedly, Nadezhda Buyanova said that your husband was actually like a legal target for the Ukrainian military, something like that, right? Supposedly she said that, and that is what this lady is accusing the doctor of. However, there's like no proof of anything. The entire case is basically completely fucking made up. There is no audio, video proof or anything. All we have basically is just the testimony of this lady that is accusing this doctor. And yeah, what can I say, guys? Great. Russia is currently going through a bit of a crisis with medical workers, and it makes total sense that we should jail our medical workers, especially those who are 68 years old, you know, who have like spent their entire fucking life serving the people of Russia, working for minimum fucking wage in these dog shit hospitals. The doctors in Russia, like, they deserve, each one of them deserves a fucking medal for the shit that they put up with and for the money that they make. My grandma is actually a pediatrician and a doctor who spent all of her life working in the hospital, basically kind of like this lady. So my fucking grandma could be in the place of this lady, okay? So no, I just really don't enjoy the idea of living in a country where you can essentially look at a person the wrong fucking way, or they could be having a bad day or some bullshit, and they could just make up whatever fucking nonsense about you. And since Russia right now is just very, you know, the cops in Russia are just very excited about the amounts of arrests they can make, the judges are excited about the amounts of closed cases, because like I've already said before, in Russia the police basically works to have a certain quota of arrests. The more people you arrest, essentially, the more closed cases you have, the better your career prospects as a cop. Same is pretty much happening with the judges, and the conviction rate in Russia is like 99.9% or some bullshit. So yeah guys, fuck this. Honestly, fuck this. This is the reason why I am personally staying away from Russia for the foreseeable future. I don't know how long it's gonna take, I don't know if anything is gonna change, but basically all I know is that these stories are fucking ridiculous, and I have like zero interest in becoming a statistic. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you think about the cases of Reeflay and Yakubovich and what happened to them. Indeed, it's a very sad state that my country is in right now, but yeah guys, I'm still here, still making content. I don't know. I don't really have a positive way to end this video. It's just doom and gloom, and I wanna die. Anyways guys, that being said, if you did enjoy today's video, then please make sure to slap the like on this channel, and as well guys, if you would like to support this channel additionally, because I do get demonetized on this channel, I do get issues with sponsors because of the political nature of the content. So if you guys want to support me, if you would like to donate, then make sure to go over down to the link in the description and become a YouTube member. It's basically like YouTube's own version of Patreon. It's the best way to support me. Or if you want to do a one-time donation, then you can do a super thanks underneath this video. But yes guys, that's gonna be pretty much it for today's video. Thank you guys for watching. Freedom to political prisoners, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.